This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Today we continue our worship series on nonviolent communication and the Bible. A quick review: Marshall Rosenberg, who created nonviolent communication, NVC, offers 4 steps that can help lead to satisfying encounters. Now, last week I was away attending a funeral, so we picked back up the series today. Our focus is on step 2, feelings, specifically how to name them, honor them, and how to let our feelings teach us something about our deeper needs. When we turn to the Gospels, it's striking how much Jesus shows his feelings. He doesn't hide them or deny them. His feelings are not portrayed as unspiritual. He lives them unapologetically and lets them guide his compassion. When Jesus sees the crowds harassed and helpless in Matthew 9 and Mark 6, his heart is said to move with compassion. When he meets a grieving widow in Luke 7, he feels her pain so deeply that his own heart goes out to her. Jesus shows us sorrow. At Lazarus' tomb, he weeps. In Gethsemane, his soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. And as he looks over Jerusalem, longing for the city to choose peace, he weeps again. There's anger, too. Anger at injustice, anger at hardness of heart. In the temple, flipping over tables, he's not afraid to show righteous indignation when people are exploited. There are moments of fear and distress, especially in the garden before his arrest, where he openly names his anguish and dread, asking God if there might be another way. And there's joy, like when he interacts with children, or when he tells his disciples that he wants his joy to be in them so that their joy can be complete. There are flashes of frustration and bewilderment, as when the disciples just don't seem to get it. There's a surprise at people's lack of faith, and perhaps most tender of all, there's the cry of loneliness and isolation from the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? In Jesus, we see the whole range of human emotions: compassion, grief, anger, fear, joy, frustration, surprise, loneliness, which tells us something. Our feelings are not problems to fix or weaknesses to hide. They are part of being fully human, part of how we connect with God, with one another, with our deepest needs. Jesus feels deeply and honestly, and we can too. NVC gives us a way to honor those feelings, to notice them, to name them, and to let them guide us into compassion and connection. The way we use the word feel in the English language can be confusing. Just because we say, I feel something, it doesn't mean that what we've expressed is a feeling. Sometimes we use I feel to mean I think. I feel that this is the wrong direction for us to go. I feel like I didn't get a fair deal here. I feel like she shouldn't play her music so loud. I feel that this is the right strategy to address homelessness. I feel like he's being responsible. None of those statements are feelings. They are opinions. They're thoughts. There's nothing wrong with using the word feel in that way. I'm just pointing out the distinction. When we follow the word feel with the word that, we probably are expressing an opinion and not a feeling. In the English language, it's not necessary to use the word feel at all when we are actually expressing a feeling. I mean, we can say, I feel irritated, or simply, I'm irritated. It's helpful to differentiate between words that describe our factual feelings and words that interpret the actions of others. For example,
I feel unimportant to other players on my soccer team.
Now, the word unimportant describes how the speaker is interpreting the actions of his teammates. His teammates aren't noticing him, and he feels a certain way about that. But to express a feeling, here's what he might say.
I feel discouraged because I'm working hard to get open, but my teammates just don't pass to me.
Here's another.
I feel misunderstood.
And here the word misunderstood indicates the speaker's assessment of the other person's level of understanding rather than an actual feeling. He might instead say,
I'm feeling anxious because I'm not sure, because I'm not confident I'm being understood.
One more.
I feel ignored.
Now again, this is more an interpretation of the actions of others rather than a clear statement of how the speaker is feeling. So he might say,
You know, I feel irritated because we're having a conversation and you're looking at your phone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
A very important part of understanding our feelings is to own our feelings, to take responsibility for them. And the more specific we can be in describing our feelings, the more helpful. And next week, we'll talk more about step 3. The steps are listed in your bulletin. Step 3 next week is identifying our needs. For some of us, that's difficult because we haven't been taught that it's okay to have needs and to seek fulfillment of needs. Our feelings are clues that help us identify our needs and whether our needs are met or unmet in a situation. When our needs are satisfied, we feel emotions like happiness and contentment or wonder or gratitude, perhaps. When our needs are not met, we have different feelings, emotions that are likely more difficult to bear and to process. In expressing our feelings, it helps to use words that refer to specific emotions rather than words that are vague. The more nuanced we are in awareness of our own feelings, the more helpful it will be in understanding ourselves. For example, if we say, I feel good about that, the word good could mean happy or excited, relieved. It could mean a number of different emotions. Words like good or bad may not help the listener understand where we're coming from. Using vague words like good and bad to describe our feelings is like coloring with a single crayon. You can cover the page, but the picture isn't very clear. But when we use more specific feeling words like happy or excited or relieved, it's like opening up the whole box of crayons. Suddenly, the picture of what's happening inside of us comes into focus with depth and color, making it easier for others and ourselves to really see what we mean. This being human truly is a guest house. Our feelings, joy and sorrow, fear and anger, delight and wonder all come knocking at our door. Some are welcome visitors, others we'd rather not entertain. Yet each carries a message pointing us toward the deep needs of our hearts and guiding us into greater alignment with ourselves, with God, with reality as it is. Portrayals of Jesus in the gospel show us that feelings are not flaws. They are part of the beauty of our humanity, part of how God made us. We might choose to hide or dismiss them, or to attempt to numb them away. But instead, we can notice our feelings, name them, welcome them as teachers. When we can name our feelings with honesty and clarity, when we open up the full box of crayons, we begin to paint a truer picture of our inner life. That picture allows us to understand ourselves more deeply, to communicate more compassionately, and to connect more fully with one another. So this week, when a guest arrives at the door of your heart, whether it's joy or sorrow, delight or frustration, pause and welcome them. Name what you're feeling and let it teach you. Trust that even the most difficult emotions can be guides that lead us into an authentic and honest life. Before we go rushing into the rest of this day, whatever it holds for you, let's just take a moment to take a deep breath, to turn inward for just a moment. And notice what guest has arrived at the house of your heart today. Is it joy, sorrow, weariness, gratitude? Maybe more than one feeling? Whatever it is, don't push it away. Welcome it. Let it be what it is, part of your humanity, part of your story, part of love's presence with you. And as we carry awareness from this place, may it guide us toward compassion, compassion for ourselves, and compassion for all people whose hearts also hold a house full of guests. Amen.